Welcome to the 2021 NCAA Baseball Championship presented by Capital One. For the first time in 2 years, we're going to have a Super Regional round in college baseball, and the reigning national champs will be in front of a sold-out crowd in Nashville. Game one of a best-of-3 series between the number 13 national seed East Carolina Pirates and the 2019 College World Series champions, the Vanderbilt Commodores. We started with 64 teams. After last weekend's regional round, we're down to 16. And the best of 3 supers this weekend to decide which 8 teams go to Omaha and the College World Series. We're the first of 4 games today on this side of the bracket. The winner of this series will play the winner of the Tucson Super Regional in Omaha. That'll be either Ole Miss or Arizona. Hi again, everybody. Clay Matvick alongside the College Baseball Hall of Famer Ben McDonald. It's great to have you with us. All right, Ben, the Vandy boys, the reigning national champions, 2 wins away from getting back to Omaha, and they've got the 2 best pitchers in college baseball, Jack Leiter, who we'll see tomorrow, and Kumer Rocker, who gets the start today.
Well, the last time we had a College World Series, Clay, was Kumer Rocker. His freshman year led Vanderbilt to the national title. He was the World Series most outstanding player, and he's picked up this year right where he left off. 12 wins, second most in the entire country. His 144 strikeouts are also the second most in the entire country, and you know he can do it. The fastball's up to 96. He can spot it as well. Very good control down and away on that one. Something new for him this year and really developing is a changeup, and it's been really good. Of course, you know about the difference maker. That pitch right there, his slider, is his best out pitch, and that's how he's racked up a lot of those strikeouts for sure. And for East Carolina, they have their ace on the bump as well. It is Gavin Williams. Only thing he has done this year, Clay, how about 10-0 with an ERA of 1.8? That's 9th best in the entire country. He can strike you out as well. 6th most in the country when it comes to strikeouts per 9 innings. The breaking ball is really good. The fastball up to 98 in just 1 month from today. Both of these young men could very well hear their names called in the first round of the Major League Draft.
Yeah, it could be a pitcher's duel today for sure. Vanderbilt eyeing a 5th College World Series appearance. ECU has never been. Is this the year finally for the Pirates? On the road to Omaha continues next.
The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
East Carolina, the American Conference regular season champs. They celebrate the Greenville Regional Championship last weekend. Cliff Godwin has had a lot of good teams in his 7 years at ECU. This might be his scariest. The lineup features Connor Norby leading off, the American Conference Player of the Year. 418 on the year with 15 homers and 51 driven in. But how's he going to stack up against these arms for Vanderbilt this weekend? It should be interesting. And here's Norby ready to go. Rocker rocks and throws the first pitch, and it's swung on by Norby. Ground ball to Carter Young. 1 pitch, 1 down.
Well, here is Kumer Rocker's numbers on the year. We mentioned the 12 wins. Second most in all of college baseball, 2.65 ERA. How about the strikeouts to walks? And the whip below 1.
So 1 out for Thomas Francisco, the sophomore first baseman. He has the 2nd best average in the American Conference behind Norby at 361. Another ground ball, Nolan. Parker Nolan, the second baseman, to first. Quickly, 2 down. East Carolina won the American Conference regular season, didn't lose a series, going 20-8 against the league. It was a tough year, though. They had to play 4-game series. And Cliff Godwin was telling us this week, Ben, it was a challenge, but he feels that this is a battle-tested bunch and ready to go and compete this weekend.
No doubt. I mean, look, it's a tough bunch, and when you got to play 4 games in 3 days, you got to be deep on the mound for one thing, but you got to have some grit too. And East Carolina has shown that all year long. They were 2 games better than the second-place team in the American Athletic Conference, which was Tulane.
This is Josh Moylan, the designated hitter, a true freshman. And he skies this one. Left side coming over. Javier Vaz. And it's a 6-pitch, 1-2-3 inning for Kumer Rocker as Vanderbilt comes up to the plate for the first time. Tim Corbin in his 19th year at Vanderbilt, 59 years old. His team 43 wins on the year. They won the Nashville Regional, going 3-0, taking care of Georgia Tech twice. This is their 10th Super Regional appearance and their 4th consecutive national tournament. Isaiah Thomas coming off a great regional final where he had the game-winning grand slam in the 11th inning. Enrique Bradfield, the leadoff hitter, leading the country in stolen bases. It is a dynamic lineup. It is a well-balanced lineup, Ben McDonald.
Yes, it's top to bottom. And anytime you got Gonzalez down at the bottom doing what he's doing, he is really good. But they will have their hands full today with Gavin Williams, all 6'6", 240 pounds of him, Clay. How about those numbers on the year? Fastball can touch up to 97. It's a power arm. The fastball averages 95 miles an hour. Not even Kumer Rocker has done that this year.
Well, Cliff Godwin says unequivocally, we are not here without Gavin Williams. As Enrique Bradfield stands in. And the first pitch doesn't get through home plate. Bradfield, the 2021 SEC Freshman of the Year and a freshman All-American. Terrific numbers across the board. And he seems to get better every day. And this is down.
Yeah,
2 balls and no strikes.
Coach Corbin tells a story that, he had to bring him in during fall and tell him, listen, you have the green light to run, and you are better and faster than you think you are. And he has really shown up. You mentioned the 46 stolen bases, #1 in the entire country. There's nobody even close to him.
And Williams looking for his first strike. It's 3 balls and no strikes to Bradfield. And you don't want to put this guy on right out of the gate. Walked him on 4. And we'll see how aggressive they are with Bradfield to start. Gavin Williams hasn't lost since May of 2019 in the American Conference Tournament to Wichita State. I mean, over 750 days since a defeat.
Yeah, these first innings, though, Clay, these are the toughest ones. Because what you had in that bullpen doesn't necessarily translate to the game mound, and you get an adrenaline flow when the batter steps in the box that you cannot duplicate down in that bullpen. So Gavin Williams trying to feel his way here through the first inning.
And keep close tabs on Bradfield as Carter Young, the sophomore out of Washington State, is at the plate. Switch hitter, leads the team in homers with 15. And when he is feeling good, as he obviously is today, Tim Corbin puts him in the 2-hole. A little closer play over at first. Carter Young, Ben, still not 100% recovered from a shoulder injury he suffered back in mid-May in a game against Florida International, but obviously feeling strong enough to play today. Bradfield staying put. Swing and a miss from Young.
There's that big fastball by Gavin Williams. Yeah, if you're able to play it all, Clay, I mean, it's Super Regional time. It is show up time is what it is right now. So I think all these guys that were kind of iffy, look, this is what you play for. This is the two-a-days. This is all the fall stuff. This is why you go to college.
Bradfield will dive back into first base.
Well, you can see Gavin Williams for ECU, the pitcher. Although he's 6'6", 250 pounds nearly, still very athletic on the mound. It's a good short move over to first base, and he knows he has to control the running game.
84 stolen bases for Vanderbilt as a team. Bradfield has more than half. That sits off the plate, a ball and a strike. Pitches upstairs, 2-1 to Young.
Well, this is exactly what can happen. You get Enrique Bradfield Jr. on, you've got to be quick to home plate. So you start to speed your delivery up, and a lot of times because you're quick, your arm drags just a little bit, and the ball ends up being up in the strike zone. You can see 7 pitches, only 1 strike from a guy that only walked 19 all year long in Gavin Williams.
Swung on and fouled off now. 2-2 to Carter Young. For Vanderbilt, they scored 28 runs in their 3 regional victories here at Hawkins Field last weekend. That's a ton of runs in 3 games. And they've already got their leadoff man on here in the first.
Well, Vanderbilt needed it because Georgia Tech gave Vanderbilt everything they wanted in the regional. They beat them 4-3 the first time and then 14-11 in 11 innings to win the regional.
Tim Corbin took his time moving Enrique Bradfield to the leadoff spot, waited until the opening weekend of SEC play. Wanted to make sure that the true freshman was ready for it. All he did was hit .373 against the league and lead the team in walks. His walk has put him on here to start the inning. The 2-2. Breaking ball, got it. Big strikeout for Williams, 1 down.
Well, that's Gavin Williams for you right there. The fastball is 97, 98 so far. So as a hitter, you got to get your foot down and get going. When he can bend it like that, it's going to be a tough day for some of the Vanderbilt hitters. That's an outstanding breaking ball and a big first out here in the first inning for Gavin Williams.
Tim Corbin was saying about Gavin Williams, he looks like Paul Bunyan up there. And on top of that, he'll hit 97. He's frightening.
Yeah. Well, we've already seen a couple of 98s, so it is big-time velocity.
And now he'll deal to Dominic Keegan. Still closely keeping tabs on Bradfield at first. Dominic Keegan might be the most locked-in player on this Vanderbilt roster right now. The most outstanding player of the Nashville Regional. A couple of doubles, 3 homers, and 7 driven in last weekend. Up and in, did he go? No, he didn't. First base umpire Kellen Levy. It is Kelly Gonzalez with the balls and strikes. Angel Campos at third. Mark Winters is operating at second base. Man on, one out. The 1-0 to Keegan. Again upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes.
Boy, it almost feels like Gavin Williams paying a little bit too much attention to Enrique Bradfield Jr., which is exactly what Bradfield wants.
Especially when you have Keegan at the plate, such a discerning eye, a .374 average, tops on the team. 2-1.
But that's what kind of fastball. Yeah, that's what kind of fastball Williams. Everybody in the ballpark knows fastball's coming, including Dominique Keegan, and still can't catch up to 98. How about that? 9-9er. 99 miles an hour.
These Carolina faithful have made their way from Greenville. Bradfield away from first. The 2-2 to Keegan. Got it! 2 down.
Oh, Clay, this is some big-time stuff here. This is good old-fashioned country hardball. My best against yours, and a big right-hander. Gavin Williams rears back and throws 98 miles an hour right by Dominique Keegan.
So Bradfield leads off the inning with a walk, but back-to-back strikeouts of Young and Keegan. Now he'll face the cleanup man, designated hitter Troy Leneve. Bradfield diving back, and the closest play at first so far.
That's a big pickoff move. Remember the size of this guy, and watch how the feet work, and that is close. Bang, bang, the tag kind of on the back of Enrique Bradfield Jr., but certainly keeping him close.
Leneve, the sophomore out of Pittsburgh. Also coming off a good regional appearance in Nashville. Fouls this one back to the net. Leneve, Ben, has only been finding himself in the starting lineup over the last month. He didn't start a game until May the 7th.
Well, I'd say he's been pretty good. Average up to 349, 6 homers in a short amount of time.
Had 4 hits, including a homer, and 6 driven in during regional play. Bradfield away from first. 2 outs. The 0-1. Chased it upstairs. 2 strikes.
Well, it is all high-octane stuff. It's a smoke show right now by Gavin Williams.
Walked Bradfield on 4 pitches, but he is seemingly dialed in here. Gavin Williams, in his first year as a regular weekend starter, began the year in the bullpen. And what a campaign, 10-0. And the 9th best ERA in the country, 1.82. The 0-2 pitch, struck him out, and that's the inning.
Boy, Gavin Williams, turn it up, young man. Punches up the side to get the Pirates off the field.
East Carolina has been to the NCAA tournament 31 times now. 0 trips to Omaha. Most of any program in the country without a College World Series appearance. South Alabama's next with 28. Cliff Godwin's team 1-10 all time in the Super Regionals. He said this week, hey, I know that we've probably got a snowball's chance in hell of winning the Super Regional, but you can bet my guys are going to compete.
No doubt about that. I mean, Cliff Godwin, how about the job he has done at East Carolina? 5 of 6 years he's been to the NCAA tournament. 3 times he's been to a Super, including back-to-back years now.
This is Alec Makarevich, the left fielder. Second-year freshman. Coming off a 4-for-8, 2 RBI performance in the Greenville Regional. It'll be Makarevich, Agnos, and Hoover, 4, 5, and 6 for East Carolina. In the first inning, Kumer Rocker threw just 6 pitches. First strikeout for Rocker, and his 145th on the year.
Well, the big fella can do it. And when he gets ahead, he can spin that pitch right there, the breaking ball, the slider. He calls the slider. It's got more of a downward break, almost like a curveball. It's pretty much just straight vertical down is what it is. But I can tell you what, hitters seem to miss it.
Another second-year freshman, third baseman, Zach Agnos.
You're going to see that slider from Kumer Rocker. Got a little cut fastball and a changeup that we've seen 1 time so far today.
Well, the last time Rocker took this mound in a Super Regional, he threw a no-hitter against Duke and became a household name in college baseball. Of course, that sparked Vanderbilt to the national title. Doesn't seem that long ago, but it's actually been 2 full years. 2-1 to Agnos.
Boy, if he can start landing that pitch in fastball counts, when you can pitch backwards with that pitch, so 2-1 count, you think you're getting fastball with it. He bends that slider right to the outside part to even the count.
Another strikeout. 2 down. This was June 8th of 2019. 19 strikeouts in 131 pitches. First no-hitter in Super Regional history. 8th no-hitter in NCAA tournament history. No one knew who Kumer Rocker was nationally at that point. They certainly do now.
Well, he's a young man that turned down a bunch of money to show up in Nashville 3 years ago. Could have been a first-round pick, but decided he wanted to play college ball.
1 strike to Lane Hoover, trying to bunt his way on it. He fouls it off. It's 0-2.
And Kumer Rocker, Clay, just seems to rise to the occasion. The bigger the games are, the bigger the moments are, he seems to answer the bell. You look at the postseason numbers. 55 strikeouts in 36 2/3.
Big breaking ball just missed. Now Rocker's last start against Presbyterian, a 2-hit shutout for 7 innings. 9 strikeouts, a couple of walks. The 1-2 put in play. Picked up easily by Dominic Keegan, and it's another tidy 1-2-3 inning for Rocker.
Kumer Rocker getting it dialed in. But I tell you what, he got the breaking ball going. Clay punches out too, and we're 0-0 going to the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Claymatic Ben McDonald back in Nashville as Vanderbilt gets ready to hit here in the bottom of the 2nd. Vandy trying to become the 7th team to win back-to-back national championships. We haven't seen it happen in college baseball, Ben, in exactly a decade.
Yeah. Well, there's more balance around. It's getting tougher and tougher to win. The competition across the board in college baseball has gotten a lot better.
Isaiah Thomas to lead it off in the 5-hole for Vandy, followed by Parker Nolan and C.J. Rodriguez. Thomas, the big hero with the grand slam against Georgia Tech to help the Commodores avoid a 7th game in that regional last weekend. Carries an 8-game hitting streak into the Supers.
Well, this is a Vanderbilt lineup that it can beat you many different ways. They can swing it from top to bottom. 84 stolen bases on the year. That's #1 in the Southeastern Conference. They average a little over 7 runs per game.
Gavin Williams, one of 25 semifinalists for the Golden Spikes Award. We've got 4 semifinalists in this Super Regional alone. Swung on and missed. 3 make it 4 straight strikeouts for Gavin Williams after leading off the game with a walk to Bradfield. Here are the guys: Norby, Williams for ECU, Rocker and Leiter for Vanderbilt. And these are just the guys of the 25 who are playing this weekend in the Super Regional round.
Correct.
Quite a list of talent.
Yeah, we have 4 of them, basically 1/3 of the field of the finalists that are still in it are right here in Nashville.
Parker Nolan trying to bunt his way on, and he's going to do just that. Perfectly placed by the Vanderbilt second baseman. And Vandy has its second base runner.
Well, you can't do it any better than this. And if you're going to take it with you, you got to hit it hard enough to get it by the pitcher. And watch this, perfectly placed. It's by the pitcher. The second baseman, Connor Norby, playing back, and no play at all on that one.
So Parker Nolan, who hit safely in all the regional games last weekend, has Vanderbilt's first hit. That'll bring up the catcher, C.J. Rodriguez. And now Cliff Godwin is out to have some words with the umpire. Godwin, a former Tim Corbin assistant at Vanderbilt in 2003 and 2004 when Corbs was trying to get the program back on its feet. He was the director of baseball operations. And now they meet here in the Nashville Super Regional to decide who advances to the College World Series. If Vandy goes, it would be old hat. For East Carolina, they're trying to make program history. Never been to Omaha.
Yeah, it's an impressive resume for sure for Cliff Godwin, especially in his assistant coaching days. He spent 12 years as an assistant coach at Vandy, Notre Dame, LSU, Central Florida. Of course, he spent 4 years under Mike Bianco over at Ole Miss.
Have any idea what that was about, Ben?
I'm not sure, unless they thought that Parker Nolan was out of the box when he made contact on that bunt.
That may be what Cliff Godwin was arguing. That is something that is not able to be challenged, as a strike hits at the knees to Rodriguez.
But watch the left foot. The back foot right there is clearly out of the box as he steps back to kind of get that running start. And Cliff Godwin recognized that as you mentioned, that is not a reviewable play.
Vandy with a runner on against Williams for the second straight inning. One out, Rodriguez at the plate. The 0-1 pitch. It's down. Rodriguez, a very reliable catcher. Also a pretty solid bat in the middle of the Vanderbilt order. Was kind of quiet at the plate in the regional, but drove in 3 runs in the title game. Two and one. Vanderbilt 29-6 at home this year. That is important because since 1999, 71% of the host teams in the Supers have advanced to Omaha. So big to be playing at home this time of year. Just missed 3-1.
Game 1 of these Supers too, Clay. You saw the numbers on that. Whoever wins game 1 of a Super Regional, I think it's about 80% of the time they advance to Omaha.
And Vandy's got a good crowd in Nashville this weekend. There you see the percentages certainly favoring the home team. 3-1 pitch to Rodriguez. Pulled down the line. That is a fair ball. Nolan is going to cruise into third base. Rodriguez lopes into second. Back-to-back hits for Vandy here in the second with 1 out.
Well, C.J. Rodriguez got himself in a fastball count looking fastball. Supposed to be away, but look where that ball is. It runs middle in, and a nice job of pulling his hands in tight to the body. And he finds the barrel, hits a rocket by Agnos down the third base line. No chance. That ball's about a foot fair. A nice job of the left fielder, Makaravich, to quickly get it and get it in. But Vandy's second and third and only 1 out here in the bottom of the second.
Double number 6 on the year for Vanderbilt. Ground ball. That's going to play to run as Javier Vaz delivers a productive out to put Vanderbilt on the board.
Well, that's winning baseball right there, Clay. Understanding the situation. Javier Bears comes from junior college, LSU Eunice Junior College. He saw the middle infielder's back, and he said, you know what, with a runner at third, I don't need a base hit. I'll take one if I can get it, but my job is to pull a ground ball to the right side and get the first run home, and you can't do it any better than that.
Vaz, in only his third start of the year, drives in the first run of the ball game. And now the 9-hole hitter, Jason Gonzalez. Not a prototypical bottom of the order looking kind of cat. 6'2", 220 pounds. Gonzalez, a veteran for Vanderbilt. He's been in and out of the lineup over his career at Vandy. He homered in Sunday's regional final against Georgia Tech. And now Gavin Williams finds himself behind the 20-year-old fourth-year junior. Blows that one by Gonzalez. It's 0-2. Williams 2 runs or less in 13 of his 14 appearances. Coming off a no decision against Charlotte in the regional, gave up 5 in 6 innings. First time he left a game trailing this year. And he's trailing again. The 0-2 struck him out. Couple of strikeouts in the inning for Williams, but Vandy breaks out in front. 1-0 after 2. As we start Super Regional play on the road to Omaha, some national headlines to keep an eye on. 6 SEC teams are still alive, and it's tied for the most from a single conference in tournament history. 7 of 8 national seeds still alive. Paul Maneri got a regional win in Eugene, Oregon last weekend, so he keeps his career going for at least one more weekend in Knoxville, Tennessee. And homers are way up, Ben McDonald. 313 homers hit in the regional round, most over the last 15 years of this tournament's history.
Yeah, that's even going back past the BB Corbett era, and for some reason, I don't know why, the ball flying out of the ballpark. We saw what happened in the Knoxville region. Seemed like if it got in the air in Knoxville, it ended up out of the ballpark. But the ball's certainly jumping here in the postseason.
Here's Bryson Worrell, veteran fourth-year junior, switch-hitting center fielder. And there is some pop, speaking of home runs, at the bottom third of this Pirates lineup. You've got Worrell with 9 home runs. Cadell hitting next with 14. Swung on and missed. That's another strikeout. C.J. Rodriguez will clean it up. And then a strikeout number 3 for Rocker. 1 down. The NCAA Super Regionals. Coverage for all 8 sites continuing tomorrow on the ESPN family of networks. And for more information on the tournament, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. 7 in a row set down by Rocker.
Yeah, and he's punched out 3 of the last 4 he's faced too, but he's getting the breaking ball going. The first inning was about establishing the fastball. He did that, but the second inning and here in the third, now he's starting to get the breaking ball going a little bit as well.
Yeah, there was some concern maybe among some, I don't know who, but maybe some, about Rocker having lost 2 of his last 4 starts at Ole Miss, and Arkansas knocked him out after 3 1/3 at the SEC tournament, his shortest outing of the year. But you can see when it's the biggest stage, Rocker's at his best. 1-2 misses away.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of concern with Rocker about halfway through the SEC schedule, too. The velo dropped down for about 2 or 3 starts, and there was some concern there. But here lately, the velocity has been back up, and again, he just seems to continue to rise when it matters the most.
Struck him out looking. Cadell, out number 2.
Well, that's 4 of the last 5. And I'm going to tell you what, you can't throw a breaking ball any better than this. Rodriguez says, big fella, right here on the outside corner, and he dots an eye and perfectly places it. And Kumer Rocker knows that he walks off and points to the spot. That's a good feeling there. When you are locked in like that and you can land your breaking ball exactly where you want to, it is trouble.
And now Ryder Giles, the sophomore shortstop, hitting in the number 9 spot in the Pirates order, a premium defender. His average just up a little over 200. They've also used him on the mound this year, 11 relief appearances. As Cliff Godwin likes to call ECU, it is two-way U. On a two-way player. Swung on and missed. Now 1-2 to Giles. Two-two pitch. And now the first full count for Kumer Rocker. His dad Tracy on the right. Mom Lou, who's always in attendance. She is a faithful, dedicated fan of her son and this Vanderbilt program. Payoff pitch. In on the hands. And Keegan has it. Nobody reaches as ECU goes through the order for the first time. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Championship presented by Capital One. We go to the bottom of the third inning in Nashville, and we are getting what we expected, Ben McDonald, and that is a pitcher's duel. As we have seen a lot of strikeouts. In fact, 9 of the first 15 outs have come via the K.
Yeah, well, you got two big heavyweights on the mound. Two dudes that could very well be drafted in the first round here a month from today. They have not disappointed. The difference is a drag bunt and a double down the line and just a routine ground ball. Vanderbilt up 1-0, but Williams has held his velocity so far. And Tim Corbin talked about it in Zoom call. He said, I haven't seen a pitcher in a long time to be able to carry his velocity deep in the ball games. And that's what we're starting to see from Gavin Williams.
Williams has one walk today. It was to Bradfield, who led off the game with a free pass. Bradfield, a very confident player for a rookie. The Vanderbilt Commodores already looking up to him, even though he's a true freshman. And he strikes out on 3 pitches. Walked on 4 in the first, strikes out on 3 here in the third.
Well, fastball for strike 1, then 2 breaking balls in a row. And how about this one? Tried to go inside with it, but it kind of backed up, and it still had some very good vertical break. Watch it go straight down. You're normally going to get swings right over the top of that one. That's a good pitch on a 2-strike count. Expands the zone, gets it away just below the zone.
Here's Carter Young again. He was a strikeout victim, swinging back in the first inning. And that's been one of the things that Tim Corbin has tried to work on with Young. It's a little bit of swing and miss for the sophomore out of Washington State. Leads the team now with 72 strikeouts. They're so happy to have him healthy and ready to go.
Yeah, there's a lot of swing and miss and a lot of guys today. You know, strikeouts are up, home runs are up. At the big league level, home runs still up, strikeouts really up. Going to set an all-time record again.
Two and one. They need Young's power in the lineup. But again, he's been dealing with that shoulder injury for about a month now, and he hasn't homered since the injury in mid-May. It's down and in.
Well, there's no doubt he's not 100%, Clay, but he's out there just grinding it out right now, and still him, it's a 80% still better than most.
swung on and lofted foul. As you can see, that big green monster in left field. There are some neat amenities in Hawkins Field, which is hosting a Super Regional for the 3rd straight year.
Yeah, Vandy's been to Omaha 4 different times, 3 times in the last 6 years under Tim Corbin.
3-2 pitch. Popped up. Left side. Going to be a tough play for Agnos, the third baseman. Coming over is Makarevich, but it's going to get out of play. There's not a lot of foul ground down that left field line.
That's what I was about to say. You can see it really gets tight down there. There's not much room at all between the foul line and the wall. 5 feet maybe. It's a unique ballpark with not much foul ground at all. Of course, the football stadium, there it is, just down the left field line.
It's an all-turf surface. Even the mound is turf. And the fact that we may have some rain in the forecast later this afternoon, it's a good ballpark to be playing on here today. 3-2 pitch. Popped up. Makarevich this time no trouble. 2 up, 2 down in the 3rd for Williams.
Williams got the pitch count up to 41 now, so hanging in there pretty good. And Clay, he has struck out 9 or more in 11 of his 13 starts this year, on pace to get well above that 9.
As Dominic Keegan comes up, he's 0 for 1. Yeah, obviously, Ben, the next 2 days advantage Vanderbilt as we talk about their pitching, but this is Keegan in the regional against Presbyterian. He was outstanding. 3 homers and 7 runs batted in last weekend. Popped up. Short left. Ryder Giles being called off by Worrell in center. And Williams navigates a clean 3rd inning. We've played 3 in Nashville. 1-0 Vanderbilt.
Welcome everyone to Omaha, Nebraska. That one is caught. Making the catch.
This one's going to end up on SportsCenter.
Anchored down. Vanderbilt on top of the college baseball world again.
June 19th. It's coming up fast as we get it going in the Big O with the College World Series. And it'll be great to have that super event back after missing it last year. And Vanderbilt will try to get back to Omaha and defend its crown. Their 2nd national title coming in 2019. This is the top of the order for East Carolina. Connor Norby, Thomas Francisco, and Josh Moylan. Norby was a quick out on 1 pitch, a ground out to short, his first time up. And he's going to walk on 4 pitches. So Kumer Rocker, who retired the first 9, gives up a leadoff walk here in the 4th to Norby, the first base runner for the Pirates.
Yeah, not the guy you want to walk at the top of this lineup. Norby, 18 stolen bases. When you talk about Norby and Francisco, you look at that 1-2 punch. It's the best 1-2 punch in all of college baseball on base percentage. So they make their hay right here at the top.
Francisco trying to move him along, takes the bat away. 1 ball and no strikes. ECU has really become an Omaha caliber program. They really have been for several years, just haven't been to Omaha yet. But that's Cliff Godwin's ultimate goal, get to Omaha for his former coach, Keith LeClaire, who was the first Pirates coach to get ECU to a Super Regional back in 2001. And LeClaire told East Carolina fans over 20 years ago, this will be a program that competes to get to the College World Series year in and year out. And in fact, that's what it's become.
Yeah, he had a vision. And that vision was to get to Omaha. And it's hard to argue with the success that man right there has had. He's averaged 45 wins a season the last 3 full seasons at ECU. And Kumer Rocker all of a sudden 6 consecutive balls.
There's a strike, 2-1. Godwin wears number 23 in LeClaire's honor. Keith died back in 06 at the tender age of 40 from Lou Gehrig's disease. And said it before, Ben, this might be his best team yet. Two-1 to Francisco. Swung on. Runner took off. Norby will have to retreat to first.
Yeah, a little hit and run action. 2-1 count. You think you're getting fastball, and Francisco got one, so Norby was on the move.
Man, you're talking 186 hits this season at the top of this ECU order between Norby and Francisco. Runner off again, the 2-2. Here comes the throw from Rodriguez, and it's right on the money. Got it. 1 down.
Big time. Big time by C.J. Rodriguez, because it was a good jump. I thought Norby got a good jump. Kumer Rocker sometimes can take some time to get the ball out of his hand and get it to home plate. And he had a big high leg kick, but that is a really good jump over at first base. But C.J. Rodriguez would have none of it and throws a perfect dart down to Carter Young, who applies the tag.
And the 3-2 is dotted for strike 3. Francisco goes down looking, and quickly there are 2 down.
Well, what a swing in this ball game this last 2 pitches have been. You throw out Connor Norby, and you get a 3-2 count to Francisco, and watch this pitch. I mean, perfectly placed, dotted on the inside part of the plate, right at the bottom of the knees. And I'm going to tell you, folks, you can't do it any better than that.
Josh Moylan up. He's 0 for 1 with a flyout. C.J. Rodriguez has been a terrific defensive catcher for Vanderbilt all year. And after that throw down to second, he has thrown out 46% of would-be base stealers in his career.
Yeah, that's an unheard of number. Boy, I'm not too sure where that breaking ball missed. C.J. Rodriguez and Kumer Rocker thought they had strike 3. This is really close. Bends a backdoor breaking ball out. I mean, it is right on the edge, but doesn't get the call.
The 1-2 to Josh Moylan. Big sweeping breaking ball doesn't twist enough. 2-2. Moylan, first team all-conference. Even though he's young, he has had some big moments. Now he works a full count against Rocker.
Best fastball of the day right there from Kumer Rocker, 96 miles an hour, but he's gone from 0-2 to 3-2.
The payoff pitch to the freshman All-American Moylan. Struck him out. Rocker showing some emotion as he trumps off the mound in Nashville.
The big fella's got it going right now. C.J. Rodriguez big, throwing out the run. And how about Kumer Rocker? His best fastball, 96, top of the zone. Vandy up 1-0.
Hawkins Field, Nashville, Tennessee. Game 1 of this best-of-3 Super Regional Series between East Carolina and Vanderbilt to decide who goes to Omaha. Alongside the College Baseball Hall of Famer Ben McDonald, I'm Clay Matvick. It's been a pitcher's duel so far as Vandy hits here in the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Troy Leneve to lead it off. Gavin Williams has looked really good, but he gave up a run in the second, and that's the difference in this game right now, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, it was a drag bunt single and a big double by Rodriguez. And Javier Vaz, just a simple two-hopper to the second baseman, plated the only run of the game.
Leneve 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Williams with 6 Ks today. And that is fouled back. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the sophomore designated hitter, who has been one of Vanderbilt's best hitters over the last month. He's had 4 homers since May the 15th, including a homer Sunday night against Georgia Tech in the region final. Here comes the 1-2 from Williams. Breaking ball, got him. Seth Cadell will throw down to first. There's 1 out. Well, this weekend on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, it's one of the game's oldest rivalries, the Cards and the Cubs from historic Wrigley. 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Coming into the day in the NL Central, the Cubs tied for the division lead with Milwaukee. The Cardinals in 3rd place, just 4 games back. Should be good. And now Isaiah Thomas for Vanderbilt. Boy, Williams is starting to really lather up.
Yeah, and that breaking ball is the key for him. Because, again, you got to gear up to hit upper 90s. You got to get your foot down and you got to go. But when he can bend that breaking ball in there, especially on 0-0 counts, and we've seen it one time in a fastball count, 2-1 count, he dropped the breaking ball in there.
East Carolina is planning to pitch a second-year freshman left-hander, Carson Wisenhunt, tomorrow. As you look at Williams' line, Wisenhunt is 6-1 with an ERA of 3.75. He has been a solid number 2 behind Williams.
Yeah, Wisenhunt's one of those guys next year in next year's draft could very well be a first-rounder. It's left-hander. He's got good size to him at 6'3". A really good fastball, low to mid-90s fastball. So a really good 1-2 punch. We talk a lot about Vandy's 1-2 punch at the top of their rotation, and deservingly so. But don't think Williams and Wisenhunt can't do it too.
No doubt. As Williams battles back to even up the count at 2-2 to Thomas. Isaiah Thomas, he was on that 2019 postseason roster. Got a trip to Omaha. But he's an impact player this time around. Off the end of the bat, foul.
Yeah, Coach Corbs told us in the Zoom call, you know, there was a handful of guys on that 2019 roster, but really nobody had a lot of significant high leverage type situations. So a lot of times it's a new team in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But a very talented team.
Hit well on the 2-2 line drive into left field. Gets into the corner. Thomas sliding into second with a 1-out double here in the 4th.
Well, a pretty good move to the baseball right here by Isaiah Thomas. And if you're Gavin Williams, you got to start doing some work on the inside plate, because watch this. Kind of leans out over the plate on the ball. It's marginally even a strike. But Isaiah Thomas leans out there and barrels it up to left field. He's thinking 2 the whole way. Never checked up, come around first base. Head first into second.
Third hit for Vanderbilt, their first since the 2nd inning, when Rodriguez drove in the go-ahead run with a double. And now here's Noland again. He had the bunt single to get that 2nd inning started. That's going to get to the backstop. Thomas now at third base. Boy, in a game like this, Ben, that's a huge play.
That is huge. Seth Cadell just kind of came up on that breaking ball down. You saw it. Watch his body come up. Instead of getting to his knees right there, you see him come up at the last second. That ball goes right between his legs, and that's huge.
In a game where runs appear to be likely coming at a premium. The fly ball could score Thomas. Infield is in.
Yeah, the last time this happened, runner at third base and less than 2 out, it was second and third. The ECU infield played back. They were going to concede the run and did. This time you're going to see they're going to come in just to the edge of the green turf. And if you're Gavin Williams, you're trying to create a ground ball if you can.
Three 3-0 to the sophomore out of Knoxville, Tennessee, Parker Nolan. Walked him. Missed down, and runners now at the corners. One out for Rodriguez, who already has an RBI today.
So I'm sure ECU now will back the middle infielders up to double play depth. They'll try to turn 2 up the middle. The corners will probably play even with the bag. They'll cut the run off at home plate. And boy, if you're C.J. Rodriguez, you're just trying to get a ball out of the infield.
Now here comes Jason Dietrich, who's in his second season as the Pirates pitching coach. ECU led the American Conference with an ERA of 4.04. We'll talk to Williams as we remind you what's at stake. A trip to Omaha in the College World Series. East Carolina and Vandy meeting in this best of 3 to decide who goes on. Arizona and Ole Miss playing in the Tucson Super Regional.
Yeah,
these two supers match up in Omaha.
That is a big-time offensive Super Regional in Tucson. Arizona top 5 in the country in runs per game, 8.5 runs per game. You know Ole Miss can put the runs on the scoreboard as well. Tim Elko, 9 home runs with 2 ACLs, 7 home runs with 1 ACL. He's still, to me, probably the best story in college baseball this year.
Arizona and Ole Miss will start at 9 o'clock Eastern time tonight in Tucson. It will be the last of 4 games today. Stanford and Texas Tech in Lubbock is our next game coming up at 3 o'clock Eastern time on ESPNU. Here's Rodriguez, already a double today. Breaking pitch, strike 1.
Well, you got your middle infielders playing back, so if you're Gavin Williams on the bump right now, you're thinking about a ball down. You're trying to create the ground ball. Now, once you get to 2 strikes, then you'll think strikeout. Of course, he is a strikeout guy. 117 punch-outs and 74 innings coming in. 7 already today.
The 0-1 to Rodriguez. C.J. Rodriguez caught all but 1 SEC game this year, including Jack Leiter's no-hitter against South Carolina. I mean, this guy certainly deserves at least some credit for the success of Rocker and Leiter on the mound. The 1-1. Hit sharply on the ground to short. Could be 2 to second for 1. Norby's throw to first in time to get the double play, and Williams and ECU get off the field in the 4th. We'll talk to Tim Corbin when we come back to Nashville next. One nothing Vanderbilt as we go to the East Carolina 5th, and head coach Tim Corbin of the Vanderbilt Commodores joins us now from the dugout.
Coach, we got a pitcher's duel, and we thought we would have that. What do you think about Kumer Rocker today? Seems like he always rises to the big occasions.
Well, he's getting ahead of the hitters. He's getting 2 strikes quick, which is a big deal, and getting the leadoff out for the most part. I mean, last inning we didn't, but we were able to shut that down with the throw and catch, so it was a good thing.
And Gavin Williams, you called him Paul Bunyan on the mound the other day. He looks like Paul Bunyan. He is the real deal. You get the feeling one run's not going to be enough. How you guys going to scratch another run or two on him?
Well, we got to get on base. I mean, we got to get on base, and in that particular situation, get the big hit if we can. But he's good. He's good. He throws good fastball, and he's a power guy, and he's landing his breaking ball as well.
All right, Corbs, thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay, gang.
Tim Corbin. Almost 2 decades on the job in Vanderbilt, a couple of national titles, trying to get his club back to Omaha. His ace is on the mound, Kumer Rocker. Hasn't allowed a hit yet, now he has. Alec Makarevich with a leadoff single here in the 5th, the first base hit today for the Pirates.
Well, this East Carolina team can hit. I mean, they came in with a 300 team batting average as well as Vanderbilt did too. And you wonder the second time through the lineup, and even the third, when Kumar's in there, will they be able to make some adjustments?
Yeah, this offense scored 24 runs in the 3 games in Greenville last week. As Agnos takes a strike, Zach Agnos, a strikeout victim in the 2nd. This is the younger brother of former East Carolina All-American left-hander Jake Agnos, who set a program and conference record with 145 strikeouts in 2019. He is now in the Yankee system. The leadoff man aboard for ECU for the 2nd straight inning. That's pushed foul, so now 1-2.
Boy, that's a really good pitch by Rocker. When you see a guy square around the bunt, you'd like to get the ball a little bit up and a little bit in if you could. A lot of times that creates a pop-up. See, Rocker runs that fastball just kind of up and in on Agnos. And even with 2 strikes, he's going to give it a shot again.
Pulls the bat back and nearly looks at strike 3. It just missed up, 2-2. Struck him out. 7th strikeout for Rocker, 1 down.
Boy, that's just hard to do as a hitter. You know, if you're going to leave the bat out there, you got to quickly get it back and get it in a hitting position. It almost feels like Kumer Rocker got this ball right by Agnos. Agnos doesn't look like he quite gets it back and kind of gets it going in time, and he's tardy on that fastball.
Lane Hoover 0 for 1 with a ground out. Lane Hoover missed 6 weeks from late February to early April this year. He was out 21 total games after a collision in the outfield with Connor Norby. Norby's knee went up into Hoover's face, giving Hoover a concussion, broke his jaw. He was in a ton of pain. It was awful. And Hoover ended up having his jaw wired shut for over 2 weeks. He lost 20 pounds. He had a hard time coming back, but come back he did.
Yeah, he had to wear a football helmet, you know, one of those face masks over his face there for a while. Good news is he's put on 15 of those 20 pounds he's lost, but he's a spark plug. I mean, not a guy that's going to hit for a lot of average, but when he gets on base, he can run. 7 stolen bases as well. Likes to bunt. He'll take it with him a little bit, just more one of those slap kind of hitters. Typically very hard to strike out.
Cliff Goodwin called him one of the toughest players he's ever coached, and after that episode this spring, I could understand why. Here's the 1-1 from Rocker. That's up in the zone, slapped out to left, and coming over is Javier Vaz to make the catch. And there are 2 outs as Makarevich goes back to first.
Well, that's the reason why Javier Vaz is in the game for his defense. He can really run. At the plate, he is solid too. He drove in the first run for Vanderbilt.
Javier Vaz made a terrific catch in the regionals in his one start. Getting the start today in left. Here's Bryson Worrell again. Veteran switch hitter. Another Pirate who's battled injury this year. Currently dealing with some left shoulder issues and soreness. The Pirates got beat in the first game of the league tournament by Memphis. It wasn't close. Lost 11-1, and they were eventually eliminated by UCF. It was 6th place South Florida, which won that tournament, got the automatic bid to the NCAAs, and then came through the Gainesville Regional to get a berth in the Supers.
As a 4 seed, and if I'm not mistaken, that's the only 4 seed to advance to a Super Regional. It's a good team. You mentioned they lost game 1 in that conference tournament, but they won 3 in a row, and they came back and they beat Central Florida, but then lost 2-1 in the championship game.
(2-1) here to Worrell. And now 2-2. It's going to be tough for the South Florida Bulls, though. They've got to take on the 2-seed Texas in Austin, and of course they have their ace ready to go for game 1, Ty Madden.
Yeah, Ty Madden's a real ace. Can't miss first rounder. Big right-hander with an exploding fastball.
Rocker has walked 1 today. That was Norby to start the 4th. (3-2) pitch. Walked him. Two on, 2 out, and Cadell will get a chance.
Yeah, and Cadell just kind of sits down towards the bottom of this East Carolina offense, hitting the 8-hole, but he's got those 14 home runs. You mentioned 47 RBIs, and he can change the game quickly.
Cadell in his first full year as the everyday catcher. He went 3 for 4 with a homer in the regional final against Maryland. Was 4 for 11 with a couple of ribbies during the weekend. And trying to get East Carolina on the board. Trail by 1 with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Makarevich at second, Worrell at first, and time called.
Well, these are these moments, and you don't get many moments off Kumer Rocker, true aces. And when you get runners in scoring position, you always talk about the 2-out hits, Clay, and hitting with runners in scoring position.
Nothing in 2.
That's Kumer Rocker right there. When he gets in trouble, he's going to go to his best pitch. And the fastball's a good one, but the breaking ball for Kumer is the pitch. It's back-to-back breaking balls to get him to an 0-2 count.
Rocker in what everybody knows will be his last start at Hawkins Field. Trying to anchor down here in the 5th. He'll step off. Ground ball. Chopper Gonzalez gets to the bag to end the inning. ECU strands 2. We'll talk with their bench boss, Cliff Godwin, next. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Championship presented by Capital One. Super Regional round, game 1. Vanderbilt 1, East Carolina nothing as the Commodores get ready to hit in the bottom of the 5th. Cliff Godwin, the head coach of East Carolina, joins us now from the dugout. And Coach, the last couple of innings, you've been able to get base runners against Kumer Rocker. What is the approach against that All-American?
Well, it's pretty tough. I mean, he's, throwing a baseball 93 to 96 with a really good slider, really good curveball, and a changeup. So, you really just got to get a pitch you can handle and try to put it in play. But we've been chasing too much off speed in the dirt, which that's why he's really good.
Coach, talk about your guy, Gavin Williams. He's been pretty good, too. Gave up one on that bunt single and a big double. Of course, a ground ball. But other than that, he has been really solid as well.
Yeah, he's done a good job. He just needs to keep us right here so we can try to scratch a run late.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Cliff Godwin. Cliff Godwin and current Michigan head coach Eric Bakich played on some NCAA tournament teams together at East Carolina in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was Bakich who suggested Godwin to Tim Corbin. And Corbin hired him to be director of baseball operations about 17 years ago. It was a great fit, kind of launched Godwin's career. And when we were talking with Coach Corbin this week, he called Godwin a stud. He said he's one of the best baseball coaches in the country. And it's only a matter of time before the Pirates get to Omaha.
It has certainly showed up, what he's done. And that experience that we talked about earlier, the years he spent. Don't forget, he was with Ole Miss for 4 years and on that 2014 Ole Miss team, and a big part of that coaching staff and the reason why Ole Miss made it to the College World Series back in 2014. And that's where I think Williams has got to do a lot of work. He's got to use the inside part of the plate with his fastball, especially to the right-handers, because he wants to throw a lot of breaking balls away. And he's got to be able to keep them honest, to be able to do the work on the inside part of the plate, to be able to use the outside part of the plate with his off-speed stuff.
2-2 to Javier Vaz. Vaz, a JUCO transfer from LSU Eunice. His dad, Roberto, is an assistant coach with LSU Eunice, and that program just won a junior college national title.
Yep. 7th national title for that program. And Coach Jeff Willis picks up his 7th title.
Williams rocks and fires, and that stays upstairs. A full count worked here by Vaz. Williams has allowed 2 walks so far today. Hit sharply. Deep short. Giles can't make the play. Karams off into foul ground, and Vaz will be safe at second base.
Well, Coach Corbin pushing all the right buttons. Javier Vaz making only his 3rd start of the year. He is in there for defense, but he's been big with the bat so far, and he hits a rocket the opposite way to the shortstop Giles. It looked like it kicked off his leg. Let's take a look at it. Going to the backhand side, and when he slides, the ball gets under the glove and shoots down towards the corner. And there was no doubt with Vaz's speed, you can see him. As soon as it kicks right there, he realizes, I have got to get to second base, and easily does with a leadoff double.
Second double this season for Vaz, and he has had 2 very productive at-bats. RBI ground out in the 2nd, and now a leadoff double in the 5th as Gonzalez comes up. He struck out his first time up, and he's 0 for 1 here. This guy's got a lot of power in the 9-hole. 7 home runs. 35 driven in. Tries to get the bunt down, and now it's 0-2.
Here's the first pitch to Gonzalez. You can see he kind of is up and moving. Almost looked like he was expecting something else. Now remember, Williams has a wristband on, the pitcher, and so does the catcher. So they're getting their signs from the dugout, from the pitching coach. They both look down. There it is. Look down, see what pitch to throw, what location.
Lays off the 0-2, and Cadell almost thought he was ready to have to chase there.
It almost looked like Williams was trying to go just up, out over the plate, just about let her high, kind of change the eye level a little bit, and probably come back with the breaking ball.
Struck him out.
That's where he has
95 miles an hour.
Right there, Clay. He has got to use the inside part of the plate because you can start to see the approaches by Vanderbilt. They're starting to lean out over the plate with 2 strikes, looking for that breaking ball. Boy, he takes a big-time four-seamer and rides it up and in on Jason Gonzalez for a big punch out here in the 5th inning.
Eight strikeouts now for Williams. He's had 1 in each and every inning. Struck out the side in the first. Back to the top of the order, and Enrique Bradfield. Bradfield a leadoff walk to start the game, and then a strikeout in the 3rd inning. We saw Bradfield get aboard with that walk, and immediately you think he's going to steal. He did not attempt. He had 4 stolen bases against Georgia Tech last Sunday night in the region finals. He, like you said, has always got the green light.
Yeah. Well, Gavin Williams, the pitcher, did a nice job. He varied his moves to home plate. He picked off a lot. He's got some quick feet for a guy that is as big as he is. And that's the thing about being a complete pitcher. I mean, Williams obviously a power guy. It's a big fastball. We've seen it up to 99. But you got to be able to do everything. You got to be able to field your position, control the running game. All those things matter.
The 1-1. 95 again, 1-2.
Well, he struck out Enrique Bradfield Jr. on that exact pitch, a high fastball the last time up.
Williams has pitched into the 6th inning in his last 7 starts. That's outside, 2-2.
Yeah, his last time out was his worst outing of the year. He pitched 6 innings, gave up 7 hits and 5 runs. He did strike out 9, but those 5 runs, the most he's given up all year long. Of course, was named the American Athletic Conference Pitcher of the Year.
It appears so far that he has flushed that performance. He's been solid so far today.
Yeah, there has been 0 scar tissue from his last time out.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. Second time he's been able to get Bradfield. Strikeout number 9 for Williams. And that'll be 2 down now for Carter Young.
Now that's big time. That is big time for your 9th strikeout today. Watch this breaking ball just under the hands, just under the bat. Starts it in the zone, but as it travels that 60 feet 6 inches, it works its way down and into Enrique Bradfield Jr. and 2 big strikeouts for the big right-hander Williams here in the 5th inning.
Here you see the line on Williams. Just the 1 earned run. So here's Young, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Neither team has a 2-out hit today.
Yes, sir.
Ball and a strike.
Well, I don't care what level you play at, Clay. When you can begin to do that, start to pitch backwards, start to use your off-speed stuff in fastball counts, it is a game changer.
Leadoff double to Vaz. Back-to-back strikeouts now as Young hits the 2-0 pitch. And 3-0 to the former Player of the Year in Washington State, Carter Young. You look at Tim Corbin's roster, he's got players from all over the country. New England, Washington State, California, of course the Deep South. 3-0. There's a strike. '16 NCAA tournaments since Tim Corbin took over. 4 College World Series, 2 national titles. Breaking ball, 3-2 as Williams battles back to fill out the count.
Now you can feel it. Gavin Williams knows the situation he's in. He's down 1-0, and Rocker is rolling right now, so run's going to be tough to come by. First base is open. He is not wanting to give in.
Struck him out. A leadoff double to Vaz, but Gavin Williams strikes out the side to end the 5th.
Boy, that is some big-time stuff. You get a double and you punch out 3 in a row. How about a 3-1 breaking ball, and you back that up with a 3-2 breaking ball? Gavin Williams is the real deal, and so is ECU, but they're down 1-0 as we go to the 6th.
It's a busy sports lineup on Saturday. Group play at Euro 2020 continues on ABC at 3 o'clock with Belgium and Russia. Later on ABC, Game 3 of the NBA Western Conference semis between the Clippers and the Jazz, 8:30 on that start. And we end with UFC 263 on ESPN+. So here we go to the 6th inning. 1-0 Vanderbilt, the number 4 national seed, and the number 13 seed East Carolina.
Well, what happened in the bottom half of that last inning is a big momentum swing. You get a leadoff double, you're supposed to find a way to get them in. Vanderbilt couldn't do it, and you just get the feeling that East Carolina's got all the momentum right now.
Ryder Giles in the 9-hole, grounded back to the 3rd out of the 3rd inning. And he strikes out looking to start the 6th.
Boy, that's big time. That breaking ball is rolling right now. And don't think that one right there won't hurt your feelings. Kumer Rocker just dots the I on the outside part, picks up his 8th strikeout of the day.
If you like he'll face Connor Norby.
If you like pitching, you're in the right spot, I can tell you.
No doubt. And I know you do.
Oh, this is the kind of stuff gets me fired up. I think you're looking at 2 big leaguers right here. Kumer Rocker supposed to be, a top 5 pick in the 1st round. And he has been projected to be that all year long, really since his freshman year. And of course, Gavin Williams has fought some injury problems throughout his career at ECU. But you see the stuff today, you see the body. And for me, it's 1st round stuff all day long.
And now Norby, who's up again. And a lot of people think he's a 2nd or 3rd round pick. He reached on a walk his last time up. One of the 2 walks allowed by Rocker. His career in the Super Regionals, and of course this includes the no-hitter against Duke in 2019. 19 strikeouts in that one.
Yeah, so 27 strikeouts in Super Regionals, and we're not even finished through Game 2 here.
He won't have a no-hitter today. Makarevich led off the 5th with a single. Breaking ball fouled back. East Carolina hoping for a better showing than in the 2019 Super Regionals. They got blitzed by Louisville in the 2019 Supers. They were outscored 26-2 in those two games. And I would say so far so good against one of the best arms in the country. They are in this ball game, just trying to find some base runners. It's been hard to do. 2-2 pitch. Strike three called at the knees.
But watch the catcher. Fastball away. Watch him rock to the outside part. Says big fella right here. And I'm telling you what, folks, you can't do it any better than that at 94 miles an hour.
And Thomas Francisco is not going to get deep into the count with Rocker. He promptly puts one into right field for the team's second hit.
And I think that's the approach of Kumer Rocker. I really do. I mean, the breaking ball is so good, and it's been electric for him since he stepped on campus here in Nashville 3 years ago. You got to almost go up there and hunt a fastball.
Here's Moylan 0 for 2 with a strikeout. That skips away from Rodriguez. It's going to allow Francisco to get into scoring position representing the tying run. I'm going to rule that a wild pitch.
Yeah, this looks like a cut fastball. You see just late life on it, really hard at 88 miles an hour. But this ball doesn't normally get behind C.J. Rodriguez, but it bounces well out in front of home plate. And another scoring opportunity with 2 out for the Pirates.
Francisco out at second. And a strike to Moylan. It's 0-2. Everybody in this East Carolina lineup has struck out at least once, with the exception of Lane Hoover in the 6 hole. But he's 0 for 2. Called strike 3. Strikeout number 10 for Rocker. And that ends the 6th.
Well, plenty of gas left in this tank for Kumer Rocker. Backdoor breaking ball. He's got 10 punch outs. Gavin Williams has got 10 punch outs. We got a pitcher's duel. I'm telling you what, 1-0 ball game. Kumar's fired up. Anchor down right now. Vandy up 1-0.
You wanted a pitcher's duel, Ben McDonald. You have got it. Look at that. 20 combined strikeouts going into the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, that's some dirty stuff we're seeing tonight. Today, rather.
Gavin Williams struck out the side in the 5th. Did give up a leadoff double, but was able to work around it. Now Cliff Godwin is going to again have words with Kelly Gonzalez, the home plate umpire.
Well, Cliff's upset because he thinks the strike zone is not the same for his guy than with Rocker. Rocker got a couple of balls off the outside corner. Gavin hasn't got any of those balls as of yet, and that was a breaking ball that could have been called a strike that was not called. Here's what he's so upset about. This is a breaking ball. And we've seen a couple of those called, and the one that got Vanderbilt off the field was a backdoor breaking ball. And you can see Cadell, the catcher for ECU, he was upset with the call as well.
Keegan is 0 for 2. Keegan was the bullpen catcher on the 2019 national title team. Has been primary first baseman this year. Big part of this lineup. Skies this one. And a short right field. Charging in is Hoover. These fielders have to stay sharp because there have been so many strikeouts. One down. As you take a look at the bracket, College World Series to the winner of this Super Regional Series, best 2 of 3, Arizona and Ole Miss. Meeting up later tonight in Game 1 in Tucson, and the winners of these 2 Supers will meet in the College World Series.
Yeah, watch out. Watch out for the hotty-toddy boys. They seem to be playing well right now, Clay. A lot of momentum on that team. So you're seeing 2 different breaking balls from Gavin Williams. One's a little harder and tighter, more of a slider. That's the big overhand breaking ball. A little bit slower, more break to it.
Weneve has struck out twice against Williams, and he's behind 0-2.
And how about that? 97 miles an hour on what's fixing to be his 90th pitch. So you talk about being able to carry your velocity. And I'm telling you what, there's a lot of GMs, there's a lot of scouts watching this ball game because you got 2 real dudes on the mound.
Pitch number 90 on his day, misses outside. It's 1-2 now. Thinking about what Williams has done in his career, he has thrown as many as 109 pitches. He's only thrown 103 times this year. So he's getting toward the end of his rope, you would think.
Yeah, but he's got some extra adrenaline flow today. And, you know, got to remember, he's been mostly a reliever throughout his 4-year career here at ECU. Just this year really hopped into the rotation for the first time. I'm watching his command. I'm watching his velocity. And right now he appears to have plenty left in the tank.
2-2 to Leneve. Struck him out. Goodness. 2 down.
Well, it's nothing but a smoke show today. That's what it is. 96 miles an hour, 2-2 count. He says, here, hit this one. And look, Leneve, no chance catching up. This is a good old 4-seamer. And watch him ride it up to the upper part of the strike zone.
All right, 2 down now for Isaiah Thomas, who's going to try and bunt his way on. He has 1 of Vanderbilt's 4 hits today. That was a double that came in the 4th inning. Wasn't able to come in to score as Rodriguez later in the inning wrapped into a double play. It is going to be a pitching deep draft this year. And we are seeing some of the stars that are going to hear their name called early in this series this week. And according to ESPN's Kylie McDaniel, you've got Leiter, Rocker going in the top 10. Williams ranking 64. And Connor Norby as a position player is going to be a high draft pick.
Yeah, of course, the Pirates have the first pick. Then the Rangers, the Tigers at 3rd, the Red Sox at 4, and the Orioles at 5. And you know they are all paying attention.
The 1-2 pitch to Thomas. Is there more pressure on a player coming into these postseason games when they know the draft is fast approaching and it's one of their final times to impress the scouts?
Well, I think it can be, but the truth is you're getting judged off your full body of work. And you'd love to have a big-time Super Regional. I mean, it could only help, right? But if you have a bad one, I don't know that it really matters a whole lot because you're getting judged on what you've done. And in a typical year, these scouts get to see these guys in summer ball. You know, you see them the year before and you grade them out. And there's a lot of events around the country, and you get to see them in a big way. Of course, nobody's been scouted more than Kumer Rocker.
Williams has received a lot of looks, too.
Yeah, I think Williams is a guy after the performance he's had today that could really go up the draft boards.
There's a called strike 3. Cliff Godwin chewing on the umpire may have paid off. Well, Jack Leiter in the Nashville Regional was his typical terrific self. We're going to get to see him in Game 2 of this Super tomorrow.
Yeah, there was one guy that Kumer Rocker was behind the nation in strikeouts. This guy right here. Jack Leiter, 146. That's #1 in the entire country. Opponents hitting 129, which is unheard of. But don't forget about Weisenhunt. He's projected to be a first-rounder next year. He is really good from the left side as well. So we got a big-time pitching matchup in Game 2 as well.
Here's Weisenhunt. 6-1. Boatload of strikeouts as well, but just a little over half what Leiter has on the year. Here's a fly ball to Vazon in left. Makarevich is the first out of the ECU 7th.
Third baseman, number 14, Zach Agnos.
And now Agnos comes up. He has struck out twice against Rocker. So said it before, Ben, the next 2 days, or this day and tomorrow, Vanderbilt has the advantage because of who their starters are. But if they can somehow pluck one of these two off, and they're certainly still in this game, then you got to think that, it swings to the Pirates' advantage.
Yeah,
because Game 3's been trouble for Vandy this year.
It has. And Patrick Riley's just a freshman, and he's kind of been in that role. Of course, don't forget about Christian Little, too. Their 17-year-old freshman Vanderbilt has. One of those two games, if there is a Game 3, will start Game 3. But you're right. If Vanderbilt has a little bit of a weak spot, it's on their number 3 starter.
Yeah, their 14 regular season weekend series, Vanderbilt lost Game 3 6 times. That's 40% of their losses this year. So, again, you win one of these first 2, and East Carolina's got to feel pretty good about things going into Sunday.
No doubt.
Just missed off the plate. That's 2-2.
Kumer wanted that one, but you could clearly see it was about a ball or two off the outside corner.
Doesn't chase, full count.
Well, when we talked to Cliff Godwin, he told us, he said, we got to start to lay off the balls in the dirt. And that's how Kumer Rocker makes his hay. He gets a lot of chases with that slider that bounces in the dirt.
Instead, he runs a fastball in at 93. Fouls it off. East Carolina trying to become the second team from the American to make the College World Series. Louisville went in 2014 when they were still in the league. And it's a one-out walk to Zach Agnos. NCAA Super Regional coverage for all 8 sites continuing tomorrow on the family of networks. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Ben McDonald, Clay Matvick watching this one from Nashville. Kumer Rocker has allowed another free pass. He doesn't walk many, but he's given up 3 in this game. Now he faces Lane Hoover, who's the only one in the Pirates lineup who hasn't struck out yet today.
He's also the only one in this lineup that has not hit a home run this year either.
Scooped out at first base by Dominic Keegan. How aggressive would East Carolina be here in this situation on the bases?
I don't know, because C.J. Rodriguez showed you a few innings ago you better not run, because he's tagged out and thrown out about, almost 50%. So he can shut down the running game. You almost got to get a big lead, and you got to have an outstanding jump. Now, Agnos 5 stolen bases on the year. But C.J. Rodriguez has been a difference maker for Vanderbilt behind the plate. As you mentioned, he handles this high-octane pitching staff very well. But catch and throw he can do.
East Carolina taking the sack bunt off. They have 43 on the year. That's 10th most in the country, but with 2 strikes. Godwin changing things up, at least on that pitch to Hoover. We'll see if he changes his mind here.
Might be picking off here. Well, the last pitch he threw was an elevated elevated fastball, rather, to change the eye level. This might be a good count to run, Clay, because you might get that breaking ball down that you're talking about, and that's your best chance to try to take an extra 90 feet.
The 1-2 skied into short right field. The second baseman Nolan tracking back. He'll make the catch with his back to the infield. So a big break for Vandy. 2 down, and that'll bring up Worrell.
Big time play by Parker Nolan. Much easier play for Isaiah Thomas, the right fielder, but he can't get there. Nolan just stays with it and makes the catch over his shoulder.
A strikeout and a walk for Worrell, who has played a terrific center field for the Pirates this year, and during the regional took a home run away, going right over the right center field wall to take a home run away.
And Rocker now at 100 pitches. Yep. 61% strikes. He's typically right around 64, so in line.
And out 1-2. A walk here to Agnos in the inning. He walked 4 in that short outing against Arkansas in the SEC tournament. He's walked 3 today. The 1-2 pitch struck him out, and that ends the inning for Vanderbilt. Vandy leading 1-0, 7th inning stretch in Nashville. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals, presented by Capital One from Nashville, Tennessee. Music City, and we have heard some sweet music from the starting pitching in this ball game. Look at that. 1-0 ball game going to the bottom of the 7th. A combined 6 hits in this contest. And you can see the East Carolina faithful in the parking garage overlooking Hawkins Field. They have seen Gavin Williams pitch a beauty. He just hasn't received any run support, Ben McDonald.
No, he's been really good. 12 strikeouts. Only 6 hits between these two teams. And these two teams came in both hitting 300 as a team.
Parker Nolan to lead it off for Vanderbilt here in the 7th. He'll be followed by Rodriguez and Vaz. This is game 1 of a best-of-3 series. The winner of this series will move on to Omaha in the College World Series. Williams had 13 strikeouts against Cincinnati on April the 2nd, a career high. Needs 1 more to tie that. His pitch right here is number 100 on his day, and it's now 1-2 to Nolan.
How about the velocity, Clay? Started off at 97, and 100 pitches in, he's still pumping 97.
Struck him out. There it is, K number 13, a baker's dozen for Gavin Williams.
From the count of
How about that? Ties a career high. And the big fella still has it rolling. The command is good. The velocity is holding. Just up in the upper part of the strike zone, 97 miles an hour, and no chance for Parker Nolan.
Here's Rodriguez, who doubled in the second, and he smashes one into left field again. Gets all the way to the wall. And he's going to hold at first base with a long, loud single with one out.
C.J. Rodriguez has done some work today. A double in the second, now a single. He hit this ball really hard, but Makarevich quickly, watch the left fielder quickly get to this ball. Makarevich quickly gets to it, catches it off the wall, one hop, and fires it into second base, able to hold Rodriguez to a single.
Rodriguez at the plate so good, and he has been invaluable behind it. As you look at the bullpen, Wilson the lefty, Colmore the right-hander, getting heated up now for East Carolina. Here's Javier Vaz, 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI groundout. He has been outstanding, getting a start today, just his third of the year.
Well, the bottom part of this lineup for Vanderbilt, that's what we talked about. It is a complete lineup, 1 through 9. You look at the bottom part, Rodriguez has got 2 hits. Javier Vaz, a single or an RBI and a double.
Well done by Vaz. Could beat it out. He does. Man, is he fired up.
Boy, he's a perfect example, Clay, of being ready to play. A young man that only had 2 starts the entire season at Vanderbilt. Got to start in the regional, and I tell you what, defensively, he's a difference maker, and so far today, offensively, he has been a difference maker as well. And a perfect example of being ready to play, because you never know when your time comes, and sometimes your time could come in the biggest moments of the season. And Javier Vaz has taken his opportunities and done the best with them.
And we'll see if this is going to be all for Williams as Cliff Godwin comes to the mound. The bullpen appears ready. What a day for Williams. He has battled hard. He has been terrific all season, 10-0. But right now, staring at his first loss of the year. Godwin's going to stick with him for now.
Yeah, I don't know if you could blame head coach Cliff Godwin. I mean, I know he's at 104 pitches, but he hasn't shown me that he's out of gas by any stretch.
Well, he got into a little bit of a jam bend back in the 4th inning, and Jason Dietrich, the pitching coach, came out after a double and a walk, and all he did was get a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. We'll see if he can work around these 2 base runners with 1 out in the 7th. Gonzalez at the plate, swings at the first pitch. Safe at second. They got him. They got him at first to end the inning.
Yeah, how about Connor Norby? And what about the pitch? A pitch right in on the hands. A jam shot off the glove. 1 hop to the second baseman, Norby, who rolls it over to Thomas Francisco. And the big fella is fired up.
Well, in the 4th and now the 7th, Gavin Williams gets a big double play ball to get out of a tough spot.
Yeah, that was big time. He ran a fastball right in on the hands of Gonzalez, and being 6'6" never hurts, Clay. He got enough of that ball and batted it down to where it wouldn't get through to center field, and it 1 hops, and a good pick by Connor Norby at second base, who simply steps on the bag and then over to first base.
Kumer Rocker begins work here in the 8th inning. It'll be Cadell, Giles, and Norby. 8-9-1 for East Carolina. Cadell 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Rocker working with a 1-run lead. This is tagged but foul. just punished by Cadell. And you talked about his power down in this ECU order. It can surprise you as he just ambushed that fastball.
Yeah. Well, that was a miss by Kumer Rocker right there, trying to go down and away, and this ball got inside, and Cadell showed you some really quick hands.
Now that's a slider, Ben. I know it looks like a curveball, a regular 12-6 curveball, but he calls it a slider.
Yeah, and it kind of can get in between, and you might want to call it a slurve ball. There it is again, just missed on the outside part. But Kumer has the ability, I think, to turn that slider up. So he wants to throw it max effort. It's a little bit shorter, a little bit tighter break. But then he can think 95, 90% max effort, and he can bend it a little bit differently.
2-2 to Cadell. Again, rip foul. It was the fastball and slider that he primarily used in 2019 when he became a household name. He's added a little bit more to his repertoire as he's advanced here the last couple of years.
Well, Kumar's good enough to probably win with a fastball and slider, but where he wants to go, and that's to the big leagues, he knows he's got to be able to develop other pitches, especially if he's going to be a starter to big league level. You don't see many guys run out there in Major League Baseball just have 2 pitches as a starter. And so he's worked to try to get better. I've always felt like if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. No baseball player stays the same. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. Kumer Rocker's gotten better.
Popped up. Rodriguez shielding his eyes from the sun, and he'll make the catch right in the batter's box for out number 1.
Yeah, it looked like there was a little bit of a collision between Cadell and Rodriguez when Cadell got out of the box, but Rodriguez stayed with it. Right there. Not much of a collision, but a nice job. Put the mask in your hand. You recognize where the ball is. You throw the mask out of the way and makes the catch.
He might be the game MVP right now next to Rocker. This is a pinch hitter for East Carolina. Joey Barini, freshman. Batting here in Ryder Giles' spot. Just his 15th at bat this season. Tough guy to pinch hit against.
Yeah, because, you know, the first time you see Kumer Rocker and you've never faced him, it is a tough challenge. And you would think the guys that's been there 2 or 3 at-bats have a better chance.
Deep second base, Nolan. 2 down.
Second baseman number 1,
Five teams have won the Super Regional opener by a 1-0 score all time. That's it. Just 5. Each of those went on to sweep the Super Regional. This game's a long way from over, but East Carolina is starting to run out of outs. Player of the Year in the American Conference, Connor Norby, has been quiet at the plate today. Of course, he's not the only Pirate. Just 2 hits today for the entire lineup, but 8th in the country in batting average, entering Super Regional play at .418. Still at .415. 2-1. Norby, such a huge part of these Pirates' success this year. Conference Player of the Year, 100 hits, tied for the 2nd most in the country. Cliff Godwin called him the best right-handed hitter I've ever coached, with the possible exception of DJ LeMahieu at LSU. And this is lined into right field for a 2-out bingo for the Pirates. So there's Norby answering the call in the 8th inning.
Well, you want to know how you hit .418? This is how you hit .418. You hit it the ball the other way. This is a fastball away, but watch the hands. The hands go first. And the barrel follows it. He didn't try to go out and hook this ball or didn't try to pull it. He simply just found the barrel the opposite way, and a good piece of hitting by Connor Norby.
And we'll see if that's it for Kumer Rocker. It appears to be. One of the M&M boys, Nick Maldonado, out there. Maybe the last time. At Hawkins Field, the crowd very appreciative of Kumer Rocker. Mom and Dad will hope that one run is enough. Pitching change in Nashville. Mr. Maldonado making his way to the mound. We'll talk about him next.
The radiation is rad.
Explore the
Kumer Rocker reflecting on his last appearance at Hawkins Field, and it was a beauty. 7 2/3, 3-hit shutout, walking off moments ago to a standing ovation. And Dad Tracy, Mom Lou, very emotional, as you might understand.
No doubt. And how they sit there so calm, Clay, I'll never understand it. But she's very emotional, and why not right now? Because her baby boy just went out there and twirled a gem for Vanderbilt.
Now Mick Maldonado comes on in relief for Vanderbilt. Maldonado had saves in the 2 wins against Georgia Tech in the regional last week. 23 appearances, and he's only allowed runs in 5 of those appearances, Ben.
Yeah, he picked up 2 saves in that regional, but he gave up some runs too. 3 1/3 innings pitch. He gave up 2 runs. But he is really good. It's a low 90s fastball, breaking ball, changeup as well.
Here's Francisco, who has 1 of ECU's 3 hits. Three and out.
Ooh.
Foul ground. Gonzalez has a play. Kind of drifted back toward him to end the inning. So Maldonado falls behind in the count, but gets the out in the 8th.
The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Clay Matvick, Ben McDonald watching this one from Nashville. It has been a gem, especially on the mound. Vanderbilt leading it 1-0. Kumer Rocker pitched into the 8th inning for Vandy, and Gavin Williams says, I will too. He's going to start the 8th inning, and it'll be Bradfield, Young, and Keegan for the Doors.
Yeah, Williams' career high, 109 pitches. He is approaching that now at 106.
Bradfield walked to lead off the game, but a couple of strikeouts since. Williams has had 4 1-2-3 innings. Gave up the run in the 2nd, worked around trouble in the 4th, and again in the 7th got out of a jam. Both times with a double play. The freshman All-American, bouncing ball. This could be a tough play. Williams covering, dropped it. And Bradfield is safe. What speed.
That's exactly right, Clay. Speed does this to you. Everybody knows the way Enrique Bradfield Jr. can run. 46 stolen bases on the year, #1 in the entire country, and it's a foot race right here. But Williams realizes he has got to get there. And he got there, I thought, in time. It was going to be really close. Well, if the ball bounces once or twice in the infield, Enrique Bradfield can beat it out. And, yeah, foot was on the bag. If he catches that ball, if Gavin Williams catches that ball, it's an out.
Now, the last time Bradfield was aboard, Williams played cat and mouse with him, threw over about 6 times. We'll see how he approaches it this time with Bradfield on. Nobody out for Carter Young.
Yeah, the last time he was on, Clay, that was a nothing ball game. Now Vanderbilt 1-0. They trying to put that extra run on the scoreboard. They want an insurance run. And I'd be shocked if Bradfield doesn't give it a shot this time to get in the scoring position.
Young can't get the bunt down. Couple of strikeouts for Young today. There you see Bradfield. Again, Tim Corbin giving him pretty much carte blanche over there. Maybe a little more communication now with the situation that the game has in hand here. Gets away from home plate. Cadell has to run after it. And Bradfield won't have to steal. He's gifted second base here with nobody out in the 8th inning.
Boy, and how big is that? You don't have to bunt now, but you still might bunt to get him to third base. This is the second time Cadell's let a breaking ball get right between his legs.
Boy, it's the little things, Ben, in these tight games. You've seen East Carolina make some mistakes here in the last couple of innings. That one's pushed. Third base side. Well done by Young as Bradfield now is at third base.
Well, you're right, Clay. The little things is what wins, especially when you get the postseason play. And this is a really squares early. The bat angle is perfect. He wants to get it down to third base line. The pitcher has that responsibility. You see Williams off. He makes the play, but there's your insurance run just 90 feet away with one out.
For instance, I know last inning when Francisco had the 3-ball count and swung on that pitch from Maldonado and popped it up to end the inning, it just seemed like a mistake at that time for the Pirates.
No doubt. And Williams has been so big today. Only allowed the 1 run. Of course, East Carolina is going to bring the infield in. He'll try to create a ground ball if he can. If he gets the 2 strikes, at that point, he is thinking strikeout. And he has certainly racked up the strikeouts today. Tied a career high with 13 has Williams.
Now here's Dietrich with his second trip to the mound. Bookending a trip to the mound by head coach Cliff Godwin. He has been the reason East Carolina has been so good this year. In fact, Cliff Godwin said there is no way we're in the Super Regional round without Gavin Williams. And even though he is at a career high for pitches thrown, they're going to stick with him again here in the 8th inning. Don't forget Sunday Night Baseball, ESPN. It's one of the game's oldest rivalries, the Cardinals and the Cubs. 7 o'clock. Telecast presented by Taco Bell. Cubs tied for the division lead with Milwaukee in the National League Central. All right, so 1 out. Bradfield at third. Dominic Keegan 0 for 3. Williams is still missing bats.
Yeah, the stuff to me, Clay, looks just as good as it was in the first inning. The breaking ball still has really good horizontal and vertical break to it. The fastball still into the mid-90s.
Drawn in infield. That one's blocked up by Cadell, and he calls time.
Yeah, and that was a tough one. Cadell handled that one beautifully. It's weird. The two that got between his legs, Clay, right? I mean, he didn't have to move left or right. He just simply didn't get all the way down and didn't get them blocked up. But he's made some really good plays on some balls off the plate he's blocked and kept in front.
1-0 Vanderbilt looking for a bonus run here in the 8th inning. Outside, 2-1 to Dominic Keegan. Again, game 1 in the Supers is so key. Since the start of this format, 80% of the teams to win game 1 have advanced to Omaha. Locking this one up is critical. 2-1 pitch.
Wow. You don't think that breaking ball is still sharp? And the confidence that he has in it, Clay, to throw it. 2-1 count. You got to throw a strike in that situation. He bends that 115th pitch of the day right off the outside corner.
They're going to come home. Play at the plate. Got it. Bradfield says he got in. Wants a review. Play at the plate. Called out for the second out of the inning.
Well, that's why you bring the infield in. You try to create that ground ball. And Williams did it. And the shortstop, Ryder Giles, it's a high hop off of the turf right in front of home plate, and Giles comes up and throws a rocket home to Cadell, who applies the tag, and Enrique Bradfield Jr. thought he had the left hand in.
There will be a review.
Boy, now we can't tell it. Here's your view.
Whoa.
Ooh. He might have got in there, Clay. Cadell tries to cover up as much of this plate as he can as the ball is getting there, and he's kind of sitting on home plate. And does the hand get toward the backside of the plate before the tag is applied? They may turn this one over.
Yeah, it's got to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field. And is there enough evidence there to overturn it? It appears that Vanderbilt has a case.
No doubt.
And how big this would be if it is
no doubt.
A run for
Vanderbilt. They need that insurance run. Vanderbilt's looking for some insurance. East Carolina, only 3 outs to work with in the top of the 9th.
Now, the play on the field is always extremely important because it really is tough to overturn these. And the call on the field was out. Another look. We'll try and zoom in as much as we can.
Now, it just looks like to me that his hand is there.
I agree with you. I think there's a really good chance they overturn this.
Or we can say the hand beat the tag, it looked like. Now, whether the hand is actually on home plate or above it, I can't tell you that. You would think it would be, but you can't go on and think in an assumption.
Kelly Gonzalez, the home plate umpire, was standing right on top of it. He made the call out. And folks at the NCAA replay facility in Pittsburgh are looking at it. Is there enough to overturn it? That's the question. Here we go. This is huge. Devastating blow to the Pirates.
Well, that's just execution. Execution by Vanderbilt. You get a single, a ball that gets between the catcher's leg. You get a bunt down by Carter Young. And Dominique Keegan comes through with a simple bouncing ball. And the speed of Enrique Bradfield Jr. is the difference.
And that's going to be the last play of Williams' outing as well. What a glorious day he had. Unfortunately, he's in line for his first loss of the year. Pitching change in Nashville. The Commodores now leading 2-0 in the 8th. Back in a moment. Couple of great Capital One rewarding performances. The starting pitching, outstanding. Gavin Williams and Kumer Rocker.
Yeah, I mean, they got after today. It was a smoke show from the beginning, and Gavin Williams ties the career high 13 punch out. Kumer Rocker, he was equally as good. He was bending that breaking ball in there as well. He ended his day with 11 strikeouts, didn't allow a run through 7 2/3. And here are the numbers on our two horses today.
You can see why both of these guys are going to make a lot of money playing this game someday. I mean, the biggest stage, and they were outstanding.
Yeah.
And they are,
you know, in high pressure situations, Clay. And
Capital One rewarding performance, Williams and Rocker. And now A.J. Wilson making his 3rd appearance of the national tournament. And he's been very good this year out of the bullpen. Vanderbilt with a run across here in the 8th to make it 2-0. As Jack Bolger was swinging a bat in the on-deck circle, hoping he would get a chance to pinch hit, and he will. But already a big run across for Vandy, giving a little more cushion for whoever takes the mound in the 9th. Think about the 2 runs for Vanderbilt today. An RBI ground out in the 2nd and an RBI fielder's choice in the 8th. It's all Williams allowed. I mean, not only has he not lost this year, he hasn't lost in over 2 years. May of 2019 was his last defeat. 3-0 to Bolger. There's a strike. First one from Wilson. Bradfield, such a difference maker with his speed. Gets aboard with an infield single. And scores on a play at the plate where he got his hand in ahead of the tag. And that's ball 4 to Bolger. So the inning continues here for Vanderbilt with 1 out and 2 on. Isaiah Thomas ready to hit next.
Boy, if you're A.J. Wilson, you have to draw a line in the sand. He may not get another chance. Cliff Godwin, head coach, out like he's going to make a pitching change.
Here's Cam Colmore coming out of the pen for ECU. the extra run here for Vanderbilt, Ben McDonald, just feels huge in a game where runs have obviously come at a premium. To make it a 2-run lead going into the 9th and a 2-run lead at least, it's very significant in this ballgame, Ben.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it was speed. Enrique Bradfield Jr. got on because of his speed. He puts a lot of pressure on Williams. Williams doesn't make the play over at first base. He goes to second on a wild pitch. Vanderbilt does a nice job of getting the sacrifice bunt down, so you get him to third base. And again, his speed comes into play again because everybody else on the field doesn't make it there that fast, Clay. They are tagged out at the home plate, but Enrique Bradfield, who leads the entire country in stolen bases, uses his best weapon, which is his speed, to get in there with a big insurance run for Vanderbilt.
East Carolina got the start they needed from Gavin Williams, their ace. If anybody could go head-to-head against Kumer Rocker, it's Gavin Williams, and he was outstanding. Just no run support for him. And now ECU is looking at a possibility of being down in this series and having to face Jack Leiter tomorrow.
Right, and that could be really tough. We know whoever wins game 1 of a Super Regional wins the series 80% of the time, and you got to face Jack Leiter, who, oh, by the way, has been one of the best, if not the best pitcher in the country this year. So certainly an uphill battle. But ECU right now, runners on first and second, 1 out. They got to draw a line in the sand. They can't allow any more down 2. 2 is doable. If they get more than 2, it's going to be difficult to come back in the 9th.
All right, here's a look at the rest of the day. Coming up after us, Stanford and Texas Tech from Lubbock. Carl Ravitch, Mike Rooney will have that at 3 o'clock Eastern on ESPNU, so about 15 minutes from now. Then later on in Fayetteville, NC State and Arkansas. That'll be around 6 o'clock Eastern time on ESPNU. And then in the nightcap, Ole Miss and Arizona on the U at around 9 Eastern time. And Arizona Ole Miss, that's the Super Regional that matches up with this one. Winners of these 2 supers will meet in Omaha. So Vanderbilt with a huge run here in the 8th, and they're not done. They've got 2 on, 1 out, and Colmore is on the mound now for the Pirates. He's been one of their main bullpen guys. Second team all-conference. This will be his 31st appearance on the year. An absolute workhorse.
Yeah, durable, big-time stuff. And, Clay, it's a little bit funky arm slot, too. A little bit different arm slot that you don't normally see. He's a 6th-year senior, so a ton of experience he brings, and he's going to need all of it to get out of this jam.
Facing Isaiah Thomas. Thomas a double in 3 trips.
Well, here's Colmore's delivery. You see he kind of comes up the balance point. It's a little bit 3/4 arm, maybe a little bit below. They say he'll change arm slots as well.
Swung on, popped up. The catcher doesn't see it. Cadell asking for help. Now the first baseman is going to come in and bail him out. Francisco, and he nearly overran that ball, hangs in there to get the huge second out.
That's a perfect example, Clay, of why you never give up in the infield. And you could see from the beginning, Seth Cadell, the catcher for ECU, never saw that ball. Right around, he throws his arm and says, I can't see it. And luckily, the first baseman, Francisco, stayed with it and just reaches back and makes the play.
Parker Nolan scored Vanderbilt's first run of the day back in the 2nd inning after reaching on a bunt single. Vanderbilt trying to get back to Omaha and become the 7th team to win back-to-back national championships. Hasn't happened since South Carolina did it 10 years ago, winning in 10 and 11. And you talked about it before, Ben, a perennial Omaha contender now, Vanderbilt. But this is basically a new group of players. Kumer Rocker, really the only one who had a lot of experience in that 2019 championship run and played on a big stage. So this is new for a lot of the guys, and they have fared well so far in the national tournament.
Yeah. Well, it's a tradition now. It's a culture at Vanderbilt, and the fact that they've been to Omaha enough times, they've won it twice. The expectations are is that we're going back every year. That's the expectations at Vanderbilt. Of course, it never hurts to have Rocker and Leiter at the top of your rotation either.
Plus the power and speed on offense. We've certainly seen the speed here in the 8th inning as Colmore steps off. Jack Leiter thinking about his start tomorrow, right next to his buddy Kumer Rocker. A couple of future top 10 picks in the Major League Draft this summer. The 1-2 to Nolan. Struck him out. Last chance for East Carolina, trying not to go down 1-0 in this series.
Welcome into the ESPN College Baseball Studios alongside Adam Greenberg. I'm Kelsey Riggs. Adam, it has been a fantastic pitchers duel. Vanderbilt up 2-0 right now, but both of these starting pitchers were phenomenal.
Yeah, Gavin Williams and Kumer Rocker. If you like pitching and you like a good real baseball game, today was it. Both guys were absolutely dynamic.
And as these guys said, we'll see maybe even more great pitching tomorrow. Clay and Ben, we'll send it back out to you now for the final inning.
All right, Kelsey and Adam, thank you very much. We go to the 9th. Here it is, 2-0 Vanderbilt, the number 4 national seed, leading the number 13 national seed, East Carolina. And now they're turning it over to their other M reliever. Luke Murphy follows Maldonado to the mound, and he's been good.
Yeah, it's the M&M boys at the back end for Vanderbilt. We saw Maldonado come get out of that jam. Luke Murphy is in now. He's been really good. 50 punch outs in only 32 2/3.
It'll be Moylan, Makarevich, and Agnos. 3, 4, and 5. This is a part of the order ECU would want up there in a situation like this. But Moylan is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Quickly ahead, 0-2 is Murphy. Murphy, 7 saves, but he hasn't recorded a save since April the 13th against Eastern Kentucky, so he's due. Hoping to lock this one down and get Vanderbilt on to game 2, leading 1-0 in the series.
Oh, you see the fastball, and that's Murphy's best pitch. There it is at 98. It's a mid to upper 90s fastball, a breaking ball, and a changeup. And we've seen some big-time velocities today.
The freshman cranks it to deep center, but it's going to stay in the ballpark. Bradfield is there for the first out. It's one of the hardest hit balls we've seen today.
Yeah, I thought that one had a chance when it left the bat, but not enough air underneath it, and a huge first out by Luke Murphy.
So Moylan is retired, and that'll bring up Alec Makarevich. They call him AMAC. He's been on once today with a base hit. East Carolina needs base runners. Strike 1. East Carolina's only been shut out once all season long. Two and 1. For Rocker, it would be win number 13 against 3 losses. And it would make him a perfect 6-0 in his career in the NCAA tournament. Murphy's 3-1 pitch. And now full count. Kumer Rocker on the left, Jack Leiter on the right. He'll pitch tomorrow. Both Golden Spike semifinalists, All-Americans. It's kind of an embarrassment of riches for pitching coach Scott Brown, Tim Corbin, the head coach at Vanderbilt, just having so many great players in recent years, and especially Rocker and Leiter. Corbin has had 16 first-round draft picks. David Price and Dansby Swanson both went first overall. I mean, I guess there's a chance one of these guys goes first overall.
Well, I think there's a chance. And Rocker was right at the top of the draft board. And, you know, most projections now have him down 3, 4, 5, right there with Leiter.
Ground ball, the second baseman Nolan hurries it across to get Makarevich. And that'll bring up Agnos with 2 down, and ECU running out of time here.
Yeah, ECU's only been able to muster 3 hits today. Couple opportunities of runners on second with 2 out. Not able to come up with the big base hit, but that's a big reason why you're looking at Kumer Rocker. Was able to elevate his game when he needed to. Maldonado's been good. Murphy's got the first 2 outs.
It'll be Ben Newton to pinch hit. Junior out of Loveland, Colorado. 329, a homer, and 17 runs batted in. He'll bat for Agnos with 2 down. Line drive, caught by Gonzalez, and that's the ball game. What a beauty for Kumer Rocker. As Vanderbilt will have a chance to wrap up the Super Regional tomorrow. 12 o'clock, high noon Eastern time, 11 o'clock in Nashville, and move on to Omaha once again.
Yeah, it was all about the pitching today. I mean, Clay, we saw what we hoped we would see, what we thought we would see. There's a look at Gavin Williams. He was outstanding. Kumer Rocker with some high fives. Only 10 hits total in this game. And of course, Vanderbilt with the 2 runs, and it was a pitcher's duel from the beginning. And ECU just not enough offensively, Clay.
The 3 hits tying a season low for East Carolina. Talked about the offensive potency of this lineup. They scored 24 runs in the Greenville Regional, but absolutely met their match today with Rocker. And they likely will again tomorrow with Jack Leiter.
Well, this is what Kumer Rocker does. And you mentioned now 6-0 in the NCAA tournament in his career. Take a look at the bracket.
And Vanderbilt now with that important Game 1 under their belt. And since the start of the format 32 years ago, 80% of teams to win Game 1 have advanced to Omaha. So Vanderbilt sitting in the catbird seat, as you would say, Ben McDonald, leading 1 game to none.
Yes, they are. Yeah, the catbird seat plus, because you got Jack Leiter going tomorrow. Of course, that means a lot. And of course, they'll play into that Tucson Super Regional, rather, with Arizona and Ole Miss, and very offensive clubs there. Arizona averaging 8.5 runs per game. Ole Miss, one of the top offensive teams in the SEC, and both of those clubs swinging it really well right now.
So looking ahead to Game 2, the probables, we talked about Jack Leiter. That's not a probable. That's a no-doubter. And for East Carolina, Carson Wisenhunt will take the mound as well. 6-1 on the year. Another good pitching matchup in store for tomorrow, Ben.
Yeah, Whisenhunt, now keep an eye on him. The numbers are really good, but I went back and looked at his innings pitched, Clay. He's only averaged about 5 2/3 innings pitched per outing, so the bullpen will probably have to be big for East Carolina tomorrow. Jack Leiter's probably good for 100, 115 pitches, I would think. Of course, those 146 strikeouts, Clay, #1 in the entire country going into this region. Of course, his buddy Kumer Rocker passed him up today, but Jack Leiter's going to get a few punch-outs on his own as well.
So Whisenhunt and Leiter tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time, 11 o'clock in Nashville for Game 2 of the Super Regional. Again, the winner of this one will be on to Omaha to take on whoever comes out of the Tucson Regional, Ole Miss and Arizona. That series starts later tonight in Tucson at 9 o'clock Eastern time on ESPNU. Not a lot of runs for the Vandy boys today, but it was enough. 2 runs to give Kumer Rocker his 13th win of the year. We'll see you tomorrow for Game 2 of the series. Again, 2-0 the final. Coming up next, The Jump on ESPN2.